Legendary rivers have been reduced to shallow streams, affecting power generation and electricity generation. It is seen as the worst drought year in Europe since past 500 years. Hello everyone, I am Srivastava and you are watching UPSC Essentials of the Indian Express. And it's time for the issue at a glance. Today's issue is a significant issue affecting not only people of Europe but also in other parts of the world. We are going to talk about drought in Europe and in other countries. First of all, let us know what we are going to learn from this video. Why is drought in news? What is drought and what are its types? Which are the sectors in Europe affected by drought? What makes this drought stand out? What is the condition of drought in China, US and elsewhere? What about the drought condition in India? What is the importance of this week? Dear aspirants, we shall be referring to the worst in 500 years, Europe's great drought, which is explained by Amitabh Sinha in the Indian Express. Let us start. Why is drought in news? The drought in Europe has been billed as the worst in 500 years. It is being said that never has a European summer been so dry since 1540, when a year-long drought killed tens of thousands of people. The dry spell this year follows a record-breaking heat wave that saw temperatures in many countries rise to historic highs. The article reads, and I quote, "European media has been full of dramatic pictures of drying exposed riverbeds. Some of Europe's biggest rivers like Rhine, Po, Danube, which are usually formidable waterways, are unable to support even mid-sized boats. As water level have fallen, remains of sunken ships and ominously named hunger stones, rocks engraved by previous generations during earlier periods of extraordinary dryness, have come out of erstwhile depths." Before going ahead, let's talk in general what is drought and what are types of drought. Drought is rainfall scarce period affecting the availability of water for irrigation, drinking, etc. Ministry of Agriculture is the nodal ministry in respect of monitoring and managing drought condition. It classifies drought into meteorological drought, hydrological drought and agricultural droughts. Meteorological droughts is classified based on rainfall deficiency with respect to long-term average. That is, 25% or less is normal, 26 to 50% is moderate, and more than 50% is severe. Hydrological drought is best defined as deficiency in surface and subsurface water supplies, leading to a lack of water for normal and specific needs. Such conditions arise even in times of average or above average precipitation when increased usage of water diminishes the reserves. Agricultural drought is identified by 4 consecutive weeks of meteorological drought. Scarcity of water starts affecting agricultural production. Now let's come back to Europe and see which are those sectors which are being affected by drought in Europe. So apart from agricultural and drinking water supplies, it is the waterways which is being affected in Europe. You must know that Europe depends heavily on its rivers to move cargo in an economical manner, including coal to power plants. Now, the article tells us, and I quote, that with water levels down to less than a meter in some stretches, most large ships have been rendered unusable. So what is happening? The supply disruptions in coal has hit power generation. Lack of adequate water has affected the operation of nuclear power plants, which use large amount of water as coolant. The result is obvious. The article tells us that the result has been a shortage of electricity and an unprecedented rise in energy prices. Household energy costs in the UK are projected to double by October from the levels of April. There is a talk of power blackouts in winter. Let's come to another question. What makes this year's drought in Europe stand out? Now you must understand that droughts are part of a natural climate system and which are not uncommon in Europe. It is actually the severity of this drought that makes it stand out. The extraordinary dry spell has been the result of a prolonged and significant deviation from normal weather patterns. Rainfall has been scanty in several countries. The UK had its driest July since 1935 and France since 1959. In addition to all this, usually high temperatures have led to increased evaporation of surface water and soil moisture. Many areas in Europe were still to recover from the drought of the year 2018. Soil moisture have not been restored to normal and the current dry spell has sapped it further of moisture. So this is about Europe. But what about in other countries like US and China? Many parts of China too are headed towards a serious drought, being described as the worst in 60 years. The country's longest river, Yangtze, which caters to about a third of Chinese population, is seeing to water level drops to record low, according to a report in the South China Morning Post. Two of the country's biggest freshwater lakes, Poyang and Dongting, have touched their lowest level since 1951, according to a report. Water scarcity is leading to problems similar to those in Europe. Power shortages in some areas of China have begun to force factories to shut, adding to the strain on global supply chain. One must note that in some parts of southwest and central China, authorities are attempting to induce rainfall through a process called cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is a process through which rockets carry chemicals into the sky to induce rainfall in drought-affected regions. However, in areas lacking cloud cover, authorities have struggled with this method. From China to let us see what is happening in US. Over 40% of the area in the United States too is under drought condition currently, affecting about 130 million people according to the US government. From China, US to Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, according to a report, drought is posing a migration concern for villagers. Climate change induced droughts are causing strife nationwide and water shortage could force people to migrate to survive. I am sure you want to understand the drought condition in India presently. So let us talk about this question, that what about the drought condition in India? In a recent explained article by Anjali Marar titled as Why Drought is Looming Over Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and Bihar, certain important points were highlighted. As the southwest monsoon season completes 3/4 of its 4 months, June-September duration, Uttar Pradesh and Jharkhand are seeing the worst rainy season in 122 years. As farmers in the middle Gangetic Basin continue to wait for a spell of good rain to begin sowing, district administrations are working on contingency plans for the fallout of a possible drought. You must understand that these 3 states are basically rice producing states. So a serious scarcity of food and water will lead to a potential effect on the Kharif production of the year. A point to note and worry is that the southwest monsoon of 2022 in Jharkhand and Uttar Pradesh has so far been the worst since records of rainfall began to be kept in 1901. The article tells us about the reasons behind the rain deficit monsoon. This monsoon season has seen the development of only 3 low pressure systems over the Bay of Bengal, mostly off the coast of Odisha. None of these systems had an impact over Jharkhand, UP or Bihar. These unfavorable conditions contributed to the high rainfall deficit throughout the season. In addition, the east-west low pressure monsoon trough, the second major reason for rainfall, has remained to the south of its normal position for most days in July and August so far. The location of the monsoon trough, its oscillation and duration over a specific location directly affect rainfall activity over regions to the south of the trough. Just for your information, to put it simply, when the monsoon trough is located to the south of its normal position, there is active or vigorous rainfall over most part of central and peninsular India. When it shifts to the north of its normal position or lies along the Himalayan foothills, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal and the northeastern states benefit. This is not all. I thought I would share with you that why this week is important, since we are talking about drought or indirectly about water. You must know that August 24th to September 1st is the World Water Week. It is an annual event organized by Stockholm International Water Institute or the SIWI to address the global water issues and related concerns of the international development. You must know that this year the theme is Seeing the Unseen, the Value of Water. Just to add on, that National Mission for Clean Ganga organized a virtual session on the first day of Stockholm World Water Week 2022. The keynote address was given by Shri G. Ashok Kumar, Director General, National Mission for Clean Ganga, on the topic of Earth Ganga. To know more about Earth Ganga, which is an important initiative, do watch our next episode or comment in the box below. That's all for today. As you know that UPSC Key and UPSC Essentials are 2 important initiatives of the Indian Express to help you in your UPSC preparation. So scan the QR code at the end of the video and make the best use of our initiatives. Subscribe to the Indian Express to get more such important and useful videos. Remember, think smart, work hard, conquer your goal.